touch of a finger, the sewing world is yours to create elegant garments, decorate your home, and expand your creative horizons. Welcome to the fascinating world of the incredibly versatile Pfaff Creative 1471. A world in which the power of an advanced microcomputer will free you. Now you can enjoy your full creative potential with no need to spend hours mastering difficult sewing techniques. With your Pfaff Creative 1471, you can create embroidered heirlooms like these. Elegant designer fashions for you and your family. Lined garments and superb quilts, plus all kinds of decorative crafts to use in your home and to give as treasured gifts. Hello, I'm Teri Angeline, an educational consultant with Pfaff. The video presentation you are now watching will familiarize you with your new Pfaff Creative 1471. You will quickly master many popular and useful techniques. With just a little practice, you too will produce results that are just as professional as the samples in this video. Place your 1471 on a level work surface. Your instruction book, foot control, and power cord are all located in this handy pocket on your cover. Simply remove your cover. Your power cord will plug into the back of your machine. Take your foot control and uncoil the recoiling cord. This will plug into the side of your machine. You then want to put your foot control on the floor and plug your power cord into your electrical outlet. As with any sewing machine, there are a few common sense safety rules. Obviously, keep your fingers away from the needles while sewing, and when you're not using the machine, keep it unplugged, or you can just unplug your foot control, like this. That's it. Now we're ready to get down to business. You can use a wide range of threads on your 1471. What you see here is just a small sample. This is the accessory box. Inside are 4 unreeling discs. These allow the thread to unwind smoothly from the spool. 2 discs are for small spools. 1 is for large spools, and 1 is for tubes. Now we're ready to thread the 1471. I selected this spool of thread. Go ahead, pick one from your sewing basket too. Place your spool of thread on this pin. Hold it in place with a small, medium, or large unreeling disc depending upon the size of your spool. Make sure your disc pull it through, and you now have a U of thread that you can pull through the needle. See? What could be easier? Now we're ready for the bobbin thread. Begin by opening the bobbin case cover. Raise the latch on the bobbin case and pull the bobbin case out. When the latch is down, your bobbin can now slide out. Disengage the sewing mechanism by holding the hand wheel still while turning the inner wheel toward you. Swing out the bobbin tension guide to the right. Place the thread from the needle under the presser foot from left to right. Now span this thread with both hands and place it in between the spring and guide. The thread in your right hand goes in the back slot. The thread in your left comes over to the other slot. Extend the thread to the bobbin. Wind it several times clockwise. There, simple to do. Once you've followed this procedure a few times, it will become second nature. Step down on the foot control. Your machine will begin winding the bobbin. The bobbin will stop winding automatically when it is full. When you have finished winding, cut the thread with the built-in thread cutter here. Then push the bobbin to the left to remove. To reinsert your bobbin, first make sure your thread is coming off the top of the bobbin from left to right. Place it in the case, into the slot, and under the tension spring. To check if we have the correct tension, hold it like this and drop it. It should drop just about an inch. If you need to check it, you can change it here on the large screw. Counterclockwise to loosen, clockwise to tighten. Once the tension has been set, it will need no further adjustment. Raise the latch. This holds the bobbin inside the case. Then place it upon the spindle. Push to the back and you're set. Now we must re-engage the sewing mechanism. Grasp the wheel and turn the inner knob away from you. Now press the single pattern key. It's lit. Hold the needle thread and press on your foot control. Your needle takes one stitch and brings the bobbin thread up to the top. Now close your bobbin case door and swing your work support to the front. But first, let's pause for a quick review of the control keys. Notice that each of the keys is clearly labeled in plain English to avoid confusion. The right control panel is angled towards the operator, making it easy to read. The program key is used to enter a program into the computer memory. Corrector BL key is used to erase an entered program. The repeat key is pressed to start sewing a memorized program. The twin needle allows you to sew with twin needles without any further adjustments. Your pattern start key to start sewing the program from the beginning. Single pattern is pressed to sew a single program or a single memorized sequence. And this last key is pattern mirroring. Press it and your 1471 will sew a mirror image of many programs. Starting at the left on the control panel above the needle, we have the needle down key. If this light is lit, the needle will remain in the fabric at the end of a seam. The next key is sew slow. It cuts the speed in half. The tie-off buttonhole key will finish off your seam automatically. The reverse key lets you sew in reverse instantly at the touch of a finger while you're sewing or permanently when the light is lit. As you begin sewing with your Creative 1471, you will find that the control keys have been carefully positioned for easy, effortless operation. You will see each of these special Pfaff features in action as we put them to use later on. And last, but certainly not least, on this side, the little symbol just below the needle down key. It monitors the amount of thread left on the bobbin. It will flash a red signal alerting you that the bobbin has about 3 yards of thread left. The power and versatility of its computer sets the Creative 1471 apart from every other machine. The computer of the 1471 holds 2 different alphabets, block and script, numerals from 0 through 9, and over 100 pre-programmed stitches. The stitches are illustrated inside the top cover, right here on the chart with their respective program setting numbers. Now what could be easier to use? Note also that the programs are grouped into rectangular boxes, making it easy to select straight, utility, stretch, decorative, embroidery, cross-stitch, and even alphabets. Turn your master switch off and on again. There! Now look, the computer display shows 00. This is the program setting for a straight stitch. The display panel also reads 2.5. This tells you that your machine is ready to sew a stitch of 2.5 millimeters in length, the most frequently used length. Now if I touch the plus key, the stitch length increases up to 6 millimeters. Touch the minus key and the stitch length decreases. Now let's press the plus sign below the left 0 of the displayed program. Look, the program increases in tens. Now touch the minus key, the program decreases by tens. Now touch the plus key below the right 0. The program changes by 1 unit at a time instead of by tens. Of course, touch the minus key and the program will decrease by 1 number at a time. Neat, isn't it? The next set of keys are just below the zigzag stitch symbol. This is the symbol for the width of the stitch. Select program 10. It tells you that your machine is ready to sew the zigzag stitch with a width of 3 millimeters and a length of 2 millimeters. But if you prefer a width of 6 millimeters, you simply touch the plus key, and there it is, 6 millimeters. Now we're also going to change the stitch length to 6 millimeters. All we need to do is touch the plus key here, and voila! We're all set to sew the widest and longest stitch. Please note that due to their design, some stitches have maximum or minimum stitch lengths and widths built in. Finally, there are these plus and minus keys. We will show them to you later in this video. Now watch what the computer can do for you. Push and hold this key. The display is now your computerized instruction book. The first symbol here at the left tells you whether or not to engage the dual feed. The next numbers over here show you the suggested upper tension setting. All of the presser feet are numbered. Here is the presser foot number. The computer recommends you use number 0 for this stitch. Everything you need is right at your fingertips. Hi again. Now we're really almost ready to sew. Place your fabric underneath the sewing foot. Always make sure your top and bobbin threads are pulled to the back. Lower your presser bar like this. Let's start with a stitch you'll use in everyday sewing, for making your own wardrobe, and even for creative crafts. The 1471 makes sewing easier and much more fun than ever before. Let's do a quick check of the computerized instruction book before beginning. Okay, this tells us to use the dual feed. We'll learn more about dual feed later in this video. This tells us the recommended tension. When it says between 3 and 5, it means standard tension, and that is the dot on your tension wheel. And finally, the presser foot recommended is 0. That is the standard presser foot, and it's already on the machine. Later in this video, we will show you how to change to different feet. To engage the dual feed, the presser foot must be up, like so. Now push down on this little red elbow. Your dual feed is engaged. Then lower your presser foot. Your tension indicator is located on the upper left front of your machine. The dot here is the standard tension, indicated on your instructions on the computer as 3 to 5. Your regulator is here on the side. Watch closely as I sew at the standard stitch length and change it without stopping. I can go all the way up to a maximum length of 6. I'm going to want to pivot, so first I push needle down, so when I stop, the needle will stay in the fabric. And when I want to tack the seam, I will hold the reverse key . Now I pivot, and after I sew a bit, I'm going to push tie off. You will see the machine take 2 stitches forward, 2 reverse, 2 forward, and stop. Push needle down key, and it brings the needle back up as the light is now off. Now I would like to sew on the sheer tricot. For such a fine fabric, you would like to shorten your stitch length to 2.0. As you can see, that dual feed brings that fabric right through without me having to pull it, and it makes a beautiful seam. Let us now stitch on this linen. Because it is not as fine, I would like to increase my stitch length to 2.5. And I will be putting a zipper in this later. So when I get to the point where the zipper will be coming in, I'm going to push tie off. Remove your fabric and use your cutter right here above the dual feed. Isn't that easy? Speaking of perfect, how often have you seen a garment with badly matched plaids, patterns, and stripes? On an ordinary sewing machine, creating a perfect match becomes literally a slippery problem, especially on silks and synthetics. Now we'll see how your 1471, with the dual feed engaged, makes this job a breeze. Watch right here and you will see the upper teeth feed the fabric. And see, it's a perfect match. Now I'm going to show you permanent reverse. This is very helpful when you need both hands to hold your fabric. Lower your presser bar. And now I'm touching the reverse key. The light is lit. And I can use both hands. Touch it again, it now sews forward. And again to reverse. This is very helpful, as you can see here, where I'm applying webbing to the top of a sports bag. Now let's look at another very useful utility stitch, the zigzag. This is program number 10. I have my width at the maximum of 6.0 millimeters and my length at the maximum of 6.0 millimeters. First you will see me change the length, then you will see me change the width. As you can see, it does a very smooth taper and does not block in with the different sizes. This stitch is in the center needle position. Should you wish a left or right needle position, please use stitch number 11. And for those of you who applique, you may want to try stitch number 16, as that is on an angle and will help you with your curves. I want to personalize my sports bag, so let's put my name in block letters into the computer memory. A good way to think of the memories is that the M memory means machine memory, and that is anything that is in the machine can be programmed together or added together, such as letters, flowers, etc. P means personal or free programming, where you design stitches that are independent of those built into the machine. First, I select an empty M memory in which to store my name. There are 16 M memories numbered 0 through 15. A memory is empty when this side of the screen is blank. Now I push Program, and now I select the stitch I wish to put into the memory. -A will give me block letters. This button will give me which letter of the alphabet I choose. You can go up or down the alphabet. I want the letter T. I now push Program. You can see the T has been entered. E, push Program, and you can see your word build. Program, and Program. If I would like to add a decorative stitch next to my name, I can pick any stitch from the display chart by the number. I'd like to add the flower, which is number 43. Here you see number 43, and I push Program, and now it is entered after my name. Your 1471 has 16 M memories with a total capacity of 373 numerals or letters. However, one M memory will hold 249 letters or numerals, allowing you to stitch a short poem or a very long sentence. You will find that you do not have to erase programs in order to put other programs in. And the best part is that you can easily identify what is in each memory, as you will see later. Here we will stitch my name to put on the sports bag, and in a few moments you will see it close up with other examples of lettering. It's that easy. One of the nicest features of your Creative 1471 is its ability to sew both block and script letters and numerals. Here are some samples of garments and decorative crafts which I have personalized. Now let's sew 3 very elegant script letters. I will choose M, A, and K. First we go to an empty memory. You see it's empty because the blank side of the screen. Push Program. Plus A will give you script letters. Here we go to M. Push Program, and now you see it entered. Continue through the alphabet to become to the period. Period, push Program, it's entered. A and Program. Now I will show you a trick for getting a period a little quicker than going through the alphabet. Hold your Program button in. You'll see another A here, but continue holding it and push here. Your A becomes a period. Now we want K. Push Program. Your K is in, and let's do that trick again. Push Program, hold it in. You see a K here. Push the plus. It becomes a period. Again, to sew, we push Repeat, which brings us back to the beginning. And if I want one, single pattern. There, superb monogramming. Can you imagine being able to sew these on a tie, shirt pocket, your own dressy blouse, children's jeans, or other gifts for relatives and friends? Note that you do need to cut the threads between each letter and period. I have not done so between the M and the A, but I did do it between the A and the K. Now let's see some embroidering done on the Creative 1471. I'll use the next M memory for a series of graduated embroidered scallops. Here is M2, and of course I press Program to start. Number 60 is my scallop. My Creative is telling me that it will stitch with a width of 6.0, a length of 0.35, and a pattern length or completion length of 14. Look at the light next to this key. The computer tells me that I can vary the length of my scallops without changing the stitch density. Now that's versatility. I want my first scallop to be size 10, so I touch the minus key here and hold it until 10 appears. I again push Program, and it's entered with the change. My next scallop should have a longer length. To change it, the display must show the width, length, and pattern length. I touch Pattern Start. There's the start dimensions of this stitch. Now I'll change the pattern to 12 and Program. Pattern Start again. Leave it at 14. Program. Pattern Start. 16. Program. Pattern Start, go up to 18, 20, and 25. Now I would also like to have these decreasing. So I go to 20, I push repeat to bring me back to the beginning and ready to sew. And as this is quite a long program to sew, I'll touch single pattern key so it will sew only one sequence. I now have 11 different size scallops stored in that memory, but I could have up to 125 different programs combined in the 16 memories, or one memory will hold up to 82 different programs. As you can see, your 1471 is really a true computer, and it doesn't even need the addition of software or cassettes. Look closely at these scallops. Imagine how great they would look on a tablecloth, collar, or as a border on a sheet. Of course, I can also trim the extra fabric next to the scallops if I wish, like this. Now here's something really special, a stitch you can do on no other household machine. I'm talking about a true cross stitch. And to demonstrate it, I'm going to sew a medallion. But you could use it also as the top of a flower by adding a stem and leaves. First I'll select M3. Touch Program to start, and now I want stitch number 72. Program, and it is entered, and now number 70. Program, and this is entered. Now I would like to do number 70 as a mirror image. I push pattern mirroring, the light is lit, and program. Now I would like to do one without the mirror, so I push pattern mirroring again, the light is not lit, program, and I have another one. Now another 72, and program. Now I have 4 stitches showing here, but I have entered 5. When I push this button while in memory, it will revolve and I can see everything that's in there. Note that this little comma after the 170 means that it's in a mirror image. I push repeat, it brings me back to the beginning, and now I'm ready to sew. To sew the medallion, make sure you have your single pattern light lit and your needle down key lit. We're going to do each side and pivot. Now, isn't that a perfect medallion? Now that you have seen some of the unlimited possibilities of your Creative 1471, let's look at what it can do for you when you want to create your own wardrobe. We'll start with the very useful blind hem stitch. Here I have placed a seam binding along the edge, and now I have it folded and pinned, ready to sew. Program 17 is the blind hem stitch. Let's look into the computerized instruction book. Here it is. We will have to snap off foot number 2 and put on foot number 3. Our tension should be 4, and we will need to engage the dual feed. I place the hem under the foot so that this folded edge runs along this red movable guide, and leave the hem edge extended about 1/2 inch. I do recommend that you use the Sew Slow key to control your work more accurately. As you can see, it makes a beautiful blind hem stitch. I can also make a stretch blind hem simply by changing to program 18 with a stitch width of 4 and a length of 1.5. It's great for stretch Teri, knits, and a whole lot more. Look at the flashing red light. It is warning us that the bobbin thread is low, about 3 yards are left on the bobbin. This is a good time to show you a bit of sewing machine housekeeping. See this little eye located on the bobbin case door? It's the electronic eye that monitors the amount of thread left on the bobbin. It should be kept free of lint and dust at all times. Note that we've been sewing a bit and there is some accumulated here. Please note also that if the cover is open, the electronic eye will not function as it cannot read through the bobbin. Speaking of machine housekeeping, be sure to clean your sewing area after a day of sewing. First unplug the main plug, remove your presser foot, and take off this top needle plate. Brush out the feed dog area and snap your plate back on. Also clean your raceway in here and your electronic eye. From time to time, you will want to oil the machine. Here in the hook is where you put a drop of oil about every 18 to 20 hours of machine time. Be sure you put the oil on after you clean out the lint. The batteries which retain your memorized programs, even when your machine is unplugged, will last a very long time. When they are weak, your computer will show you that on the display. Turn your machine on its side. Right here is the door that houses your batteries. Make sure your batteries go in with the plus side up. Pop the door back on, and you're ready to go. Your memorized programs will not erase while these batteries are transferred. That's all we have to do for the housekeeping for your Creative 1471. By the way, Pfaff offers many types of needles for your machine. The system used is a 130/705H. They come in this type of package as you'll see in your machine. I do recommend that you only keep the new needles in these packs when you buy them. Once you have used it, perhaps you can put them in a little case. This is made of felt, and on the white I have printed what each needle is, and I put them in here to keep them nice and protected. The various needles available cover the range from ballpoint needles for sewing on your knits, very pointed leather needles for leather, of course, and perhaps heavy plastics as in waterproof raincoats. You can also buy jeans needles, which are for denim and for very heavy canvas. You can also buy a wide range of twin needles. These come in different sizes, both in the weight of the needles and the spacing between the needles. There's also decorative needles, such as a wing needle. This has little flanges on the side that push the pieces of fabric away as you sew. I will loosen this screw here and pull the needle out. There is a flat side and a round side on the shank of the needle. When you put the needle into the machine, make sure the flat side is to the back. Here's my wing needle, the flat side to the back, straight up, and tighten the screw. I am sure you're wondering just what this wing needle will do. As you can see, it will create lovely hemstitch effects by pushing away the fabric fibers. Of course, not all fabrics are suitable for hemstitching. To determine whether a fabric is suitable, take the wing needle with you to the fabric store. Push the needle into the cloth and remove it. With your fingernail, rub across the puncture made by the needle. If it disappears, the fabric is not suitable for hemstitching. Organdy, batiste, fine linen, and some chiffons are most suitable. Usually, the less polyester, the better. Here I am sewing with the wing needle and stitch number 15. I have put this dark fabric behind so that you can see the stitches better. Here we have number 15, number 13, in memory of 54 with an 02 to close it up, 54 regularly, and a number 13. You can also try 54 with two 02s to give an entre-deux type effect. Also check your instruction book for many other examples and have fun trying them. Now let's try some versatile and very important programs. They're all completely automatic. Please note that I have replaced the wing needle with a regular needle. I'm going to show you how to quickly mend a rip like this one. Place your rip under your presser bar. lower it, and select Program 9. You can see the mending program on the chart. As I begin, the machine will sew with straight stitches horizontally. Once I reach the end of the rip, I'll touch the reverse key, and now the machine will sew back and forth over the horizontal stitches. When it comes to the end of the rip, it will knot in place and stop. Best of all, the computer retains this size in its memory until I go to another stitch. So if I need to mend a worn area, I simply raise the presser foot, then place it next to the first mended area and sew once more. I have sewn the handles onto my sports bag as well as my personalized pocket. This pocket, however, does need the added strength of a Bartek, so I select program number 8. Since this is denim, however, I will increase the stitch width to 4 millimeters. As you watch the Bartek, you will see it make a rectangle by stitching forward, sideways, and backwards, and then do a zigzag to cover this, and then knot in place and stop, all automatically. A truly professional Bartek. As you now know, your Creative 1471 has more than 100 different stitches. Your computer allows you to change the width, length, pattern length, and more. The following is a unique way for you to create your own programs ever so easily, all because your 1471 has computerized reverse. Look at stitch 00 and 01. The arrows are pointing away from you. That is the direction that the fabric will be moving as you do regular sewing. 02 and 03 show the arrows pointing toward you. If the fabric is moving toward you, the machine is sewing in reverse. Also note that 00 and 02 show a centered needle position. 01 and 03 show that you can move the needle into 13 numbered and calibrated positions. Now let's put this knowledge to use. I'm going to select an empty M memory. There, M5 is free. Press Program to start. Select stitch number 38. Enter it by pushing Program. Change to Program 03. I will enter this 3 times. Press Repeat. I'm back at the beginning and ready to sew. See what I have now? Intermingled arches. You may also want to try several other stitches on the chart. I recommend number 84, which is a satin stitch heart, and 02, which is your backward stitch, and several straight stitches. This combined in memory will give you doubled up hearts. You can create an amazing array of beautiful stitch sequences by following the same method. Many of these are described step by step in your owner's handbook. This is an extension of your instruction book and is available from your local Pfaff dealer. Each page covers a single subject. Included are the stitches, sequences, and techniques. I think you'll find that this will greatly help you to use your Pfaff Creative to its fullest extent. Now that you've seen a number of decorative stitches, let's go back to very functional sewing. Making a keyhole buttonhole. You will find very many uses for this keyhole, especially on sportswear garments, pockets, and jackets. Let's select 87. The Creative 1471 sews 9 different sizes of keyhole buttonholes fully automatically. Select each one just by using these stitch length keys. The display shows this particular length right here in 22 millimeters. We would like to stitch 18. Check, and my machine instructions tell me dual feed, 3 tension, and foot number 1. My machine is set. Now let's sew this buttonhole. The Creative will tie the buttonhole off and stops automatically when the program is finished. You don't have to do anything but press the foot control. Now let's sew a standard buttonhole, program number 86. My machine is set up as the instruction book tells me. First, let's sew a sample to test it on this piece of fabric. I will start to sew the right side of the buttonhole. When I have reached the desired length, I will push this key here. It will make the machine bar tack and start to sew the second side of the buttonhole. When I have reached the beginning of the buttonhole, I will press this key again, and the machine will sew the last bar tack, knot in place, and stop. Perfect. And the best part is that while I was sewing this first buttonhole, my Creative 1471 remembered the size. So now I can sew all the buttons on my shirt or blouse or anything else that are the same size. If I wish to change the size, I simply push Pattern Start and it will start at the new buttonhole. My next sewing project involves piping a collar and front facing of a dress. Stitch 01 is a straight stitch that I can sew in 13 different needle positions. This key is used to move the needle positions from left to right. Let's use the farthest needle position for this project. Here you can see it's centered, and now I go to the other side. This is the zipper foot, foot number 4. We're going to change it with the foot that's on the machine. One quick tip to tell you is to always put your feet on the machine so that the number is facing you. To change the foot, press down, the foot snaps off. Put your other foot underneath and drop the presser bar. I have already prepared a bias strip with piping inside. I'm going to be stitching along the edge. My piping is now ready to be sewn between the front of my garment and the facing. I will need to change my zipper foot to the other side so that the needle can sew on the left. If I press pattern mirroring, the needle will jump automatically into the farthest left position. Let's sew the piping now. Use the zipper foot to sew welting onto slipcovers, pillows, and other similar items. I had promised earlier in this video to show you how to put in a zipper. Since my Creative is all set, now's the time to do so. I am sewing a fast and easy concealed zipper right here. First I sew along the teeth edge, then I will pivot and come up the other side. Since I am pivoting, I already have my needle down button pushed. Pivot. And now pivot up the other side. Your second side of the seam will cover your stitching from the first, and your zipper foot will ride along the zipper inside. There is still so very much to show you that can be done on your Creative 1471. Take a look at your chart and look at program numbers 80, 81, 82, and 83. These are all leaves. Now look at program number 98. Wouldn't that look lovely as a single pattern with a leaf attached. Isn't it lovely? Another flower and stem you can try is program 45, a flower, then program 50, leaves and stem. I am sure with these tips you will very soon learn to create your own combinations. Another very important feature on your 1471 is its wide range of overlock stitches. These are numbers 20 through 29. Here I am using number 28. I use this on t-shirts, sportswear, everywhere I need ribbing. Fold my ribbing in half, and I stretch it as I sew. Please note that your built-in instructions tell you to use foot number 3. If you turn the foot onto its back, you'll see a little wire. This allows the needle to go over the wire to do the overcasting, but the wire helps hold the fabric in place. See the wonderful amount of stretch our seam has and how well the inside is finished. All this in one simple operation. I think you'll agree that sewing with your Creative 1471 is truly creativity without limit. Here's another example of what I mean. Your computer can be programmed to sew logos, signatures, pictures, embroidery stitches, and many other things. These are designs that you create yourself, independent of those that are already built into the machine. This is called free programming or personal programming. Your designs are also retained in the computer memory, and your 1471 will store them there even when the machine is turned off or unplugged. Here are examples of horses and covered wagons, a Chinaman and geisha, spider webs, a cathedral, sneakers, bicycles, and whales. These are all examples of the programs in Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Designs for Free Programming, which are available at your local dealer. Your instruction book provides you with programming charts such as these. When you run out of those in your book, you can also buy them in pads from your Pfaff dealer. We can make the sewing machine sew up, down, forwards, backwards, any which direction we choose. There's only one restriction. Your sewing machine can sew up to a maximum of 6 millimeters in width and 6 millimeters in length. On your graph, it is 6 times the real stitching. Therefore, you can go up to maximum of 36 in increments, both width and length. I have already drawn a diamond for you on this graph. Now I'm going to put in the points that I want the needle to enter the fabric. First, I want it to enter here. Number 2. This means the needle starts here and goes to here. It will be a straight line. Number 3, straight line. 4 and 5. Now I have my needle entering here to here and back. But I also need to enter some other stitches here and here so that the next diamond will have room. Now look at your points on the graph. At my first step, I want B being 0, 0, and my L being 18. My second step, B is 18 and L is 36. My third step, B is 36, L is 18. B 36, L 18. The fourth, B is 18 while L is 0. My fifth is the same as my first one, 0, 0, 18. 0, 0, and 36. And this one, 0, 0, and 54. Notice that B stands for the breadth or width, while L stands for the length. What I have my needle doing is starting here at point 1, going to point 2, 3, 4, and 5, and over 2 stitches. So the next one starts here. You can also start your position at any of these points. If I started here for my first step, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and have my connectors here, giving a different look. This is a page from the Pfaff Owner's Handbook. This has a bicycle already graphed out for you. I want to point out that when you're doing curves, just as when you played connect the dots as a child, you must put in more dots to do a curve than you would to do a straight line. Now let's program the Creative with this diamond. Earlier in the video, I told you that the Creative has 16 M memories. It also has 16 P memories, and in those you can store your own designs. Let's select P0. Now I'll press the BL key here. Look at the display panel. It shows B zeros and L zeros, and a flashing light before numeral 1. I can now enter the coordinates I have on my chart. I begin with step 1, B00 and L18. Leave the B and go up to 18. Push program. Look, now the flashing light is on number 2. This says it is ready for the second step. Step 2 is B18 and L36. I push program. Now I enter my other steps. 3 is B36 and L18. Program. Step 4 is B18 and L00. Program. Step 5, B00, L18. Six is B00 and L36. And 7 is B00 and L54. I must press the repeat key to sew. Now let's sew a series of those diamonds which we just put into the P0 memory. Now I'm going to correct out those last 2 steps and show you why they are needed. As you can see, the stitch continues itself upon itself instead of moving along. You must add those extra steps. Now that you know how to draw and enter your designs into the P memory, let's see how the M and P memories can be mixed together. To do so, I'll first select an empty M memory. There, M7 is free. I press the program key to enter into it. Then I select program P0. Enter that. Now program 65. And enter that. Finally, program 01. Oh, but I only wanted it twice. If you put something in too many times, push corrector, it takes the last one out. I press repeat, I'm back to the beginning and ready to sew. It's done. I'm sure you will now be able to design your own creative programs. Should you wish to add, subtract, or correct steps in an already programmed P, here is how it's done. Here is P0. Now I press corrector BL, and the machine shows me that up to 7 entries have been made. Remember, the blinking light tells you that it is waiting for number 8. To erase the last step, simply push corrector once. To add at the end, simply change your B and your L and program. Should you wish to add an extra coordinate at some point, all that needs to be done is to determine at which step. Then press the minus key below the flashing light until you have the desired step number showing. Change the coordinates and enter. If you make a programming error, simply press the minus key until you have found the wrong entry in the display. Touch the corrector once. Now enter the correct coordinates. Then your correction is entered. Please note that I am simply making up these numbers to show you as an example. Remember that your Creative has 16 P memories. Each P can retain 99 entries. The 16 P memories combined hold a total of 694 entries. We have now completed the basic techniques for using your Creative 1471. With just a little practice, you too will be able to turn out work that is every bit as professional looking and well finished as what you have seen here. Best of all, as the owner of a Pfaff Creative 1471, you'll enjoy a newly found freedom, the ability to explore your creativity without limits. There's a whole new world of creative sewing waiting for you. Have fun doing it.